welcome to day 21 of the How Not to Die challenge. So I am on my way to work and I did not show you anything in the kitchen today, which is actually planned, but I have all sorts of leftovers and they need to be eaten, so I'm eating them. So I am taking today, I had leftover spaghetti squash and broccoli from several days ago, so I took that in a container. There's no sauce on it or anything, but I really like spaghetti squash, so it'll be just fine the way that it is. The broccoli, I've never been a huge fan of broccoli, but it's been better the last couple times I've eaten it than in the past, so that's a good thing. So I have that in a container, and then I also have, what was the other thing? Oh, I have some of the summer squash onion casserole dish thing, the au gratin thing, which has no cheese whatsoever, so I'm not sure if that's an appropriate name for it or not, to be honest with you. But anyways, I have some of that. So I've got 2 big containers of food to take with me, and I also brought some a container of puff sorghum. So I have a snacky type of thing with me, which is very exciting. And my husband made me a smoothie because I needed to get a few extra ingredients in me. So he made a mint chocolate smoothie. So that essentially has 2 fruits and all the greens that I need for a day, 2 servings of greens and flax. So pretty good in terms of a smoothie, as far as just getting some of the things that aren't the easiest for me to get in. Like greens, unless I have a salad, I just don't get greens in my diet at all. Again, with the flax, it's not a hard thing to get a tablespoon of flax in your food. It just, I don't know, I struggle with it. So maybe it is a hard thing to do. Anyways, so I've got those things with me to snack on, and I've got a smoothie to drink on my way to work, and I will probably make a cup of tea when I get to work, excuse me, after my smoothie is gone. In other words, that's about it for me for the day. What I wanted to make is something that I want to make in the morning. It's right out of his recipe book, and it would be like a super awesome snacky food or breakfast food. So it doesn't really matter, you can make it either way. So we'll make that in the morning. I don't remember what it's called. I think it's Superfood Energy Bites? I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. I don't actually remember what it was called. So anyways, when I get home in the morning, you and I will be cooking. Well, I don't think there's any cooking involved either, actually. We'll be preparing food. So, anywho, that's it for me for now. I hope you guys are having a good one, and I'm going to tootle off to work, and I'll talk to you guys again in the morning. Alright guys, so good morning, and we are going to make some Superfood breakfast bites, is what this recipe is called. I'm really looking forward to this. This looks really, really yummy. So, there's not a ton of ingredients, and they're all relatively normal things that you might have in your house, except for one. One of them is like you would never think, most people would not buy, but we'll get there. So first things first, 3/4 cup of dates that you've pitted and put in water, hot water, to let them soak for a little bit. That was seven dates for me. So if you don't feel like measuring them, 7. Okay, so that goes in there. And then you want 3/4 cup of raw nuts, either pecans, walnuts, or cashews. I'm just going to use some pecans. I don't use pecans very often, so I'll use those. Okay. And then you want 3/4 cup of dried fruit, and it says specifically cranberries, apricots, apple slices, or other dried fruit chopped if necessary. So I usually don't have cranberries because they almost always have oil on them, and that's really distressing to me. But my mom had bought some cranberries that have 50% less sugar on them, and these don't have oil, but they do have junk. So they've got soluble corn fiber, which, okay, whatever, but sugar, glycerin, and sucralose. Can't be very much because the sugar is not that high in there, but do you guys buy cranberries? And if so, do your cranberries have oil on them? And if not, and sugar, where do you get them? I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to use some of these, not very many of these, maybe like, I'm supposed to have 3/4 cup of dried fruit, so I'm going to probably put about 1/4 cup into my 3/4 cup measuring cup, and then use the rest in, I'm just going to use raisins. I had some dried apricots, but I used them, and I don't have apple slices. I don't really have any other dried fruit. I do have some dried baby bananas, but I don't really feel like using those, so I would have to cut them. I'm not really interested in that right now. I'm being lazy. So anyway, there's some dried fruit. Okay, so that all goes in there. Oh, actually, let me read the instructions before we get too far. So you're actually supposed to combine the dates and the nuts in a food processor and put them through until they are finely ground and the dates are incorporated. Then you're supposed to add the rest of the ingredients. Oops. So anyway, I now have mine with the raisins in there, and I'm going to blend it, and it's going to be fine. I'm not too worried about it, but let me go and do that real quick, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, so it's not perfectly perfect, but it's pretty good. Most of the stuff is incorporated fairly well, and those pecans are noisy in there. So next thing you want to do is now you want to add your dried fruit. One step ahead. Woohoo! 1/4 cup of sunflower seeds. We always have raw sunflower seeds in the freezer. So 1/4 cup of that. And then you want 2 tablespoons of chia seeds, which those are my chia seeds. I do have ground chia seeds, but it does not say to use ground chia seeds. It just says 2 tablespoons of chia seeds, so I'm going to use them without them being ground up yet. So 2 tablespoons of that. And then 2 tablespoons of ground flaxseed. We also have that ground up in the freezer all the time. So 2 tablespoons of ground flax. Then you want to use 1 to 1.5 inch piece of vanilla bean, split and scraped. So about 1 inch of a vanilla bean, you scrape the inside out and put that in there. I don't have any raw vanilla beans because we always make ours into vanilla. So this says you can also use 1/2 of a teaspoon, which I apparently did not get out. So we'll just put a little bit in here. That's a little more than 1/2 teaspoon. Okay, there we go. I just dumped the rest of it out in the bowl. And then 1/4 of a teaspoon of ground cinnamon. I didn't get out a 1/4 teaspoon either. Slacking, let me tell you. All right, I'm just gonna put a little bit of ground cinnamon in here. There, that looks like about 1/4 teaspoon. And the last thing that you put in here are 2 tablespoons, it says, of goji berries or barberries. I don't know what a barberry is, but I do happen to have goji berries. I bought these to make a recipe that was a stew out of a Dr. Furman recipe. So I have that, I would assume that's on here somewhere, on this website somewhere, but they're very solidified into one chunk. Anyway, these are really hard. So, okay, well there's 1 tablespoon. Hopefully these incorporate fairly well because these are kind of hard. But anyway, there we go. 2 tablespoons. That's it. That's all the ingredients. So that's really not that much. My countertop's a little bit of a mess, but it's not too bad. So then you actually want to blend this until it's well incorporated. It says, add the remaining ingredients and process until well combined. The mixture should be very sticky. If it seems too dry to hold together, add a little more water, 1 tablespoon at a time. If the mixture is too wet, add a little more ground flaxseed or some rolled oats. So then you want to roll a heaping tablespoon of the mixture between the palms of your hands and form a 1-inch ball. Transfer to a plate, repeat until all the mixture has been rolled into balls. Cover the plate with foil or parchment paper and refrigerate for 4 hours before enjoying and store in the refrigerator. So I'm going to go and do this, and then I'm going to make it into little balls with my, what do you call it, the little ice cream scoop that I have. Not the little one, but the medium-sized one. I think that'll be approximately a 1-inch ball. It'll be around there. And put them on a piece of my Silpat mat and just put it directly into the refrigerator on that. So I will definitely be back with you before 4 hours is up because I still have to sleep yet today. So I will let you know as soon as I've got these rolled how hard it was to roll, because if they're really sticky, sometimes it's really a bugger to get these things to roll nicely. It helps to put just some flour on your hands when you're doing that. And then also I will let you see what it looks like before I put them in there, and I will try it for you because it's going to taste the same regardless of whether it stays intact in a ball form or not. So anyway, I'll be back in a second. Okay, so real quick before we finish talking about these Superfood breakfast bites, you guys all know what soy curls are. You've seen me use them, and you probably have made them into stuff before yourselves, or you've seen them somewhere. Anyways, soy curls. So we were at the, it's called Patel Brothers, so an Indian, specifically an Indian, not an Asian, but an Indian grocery store the other day, because I needed to get some more puffed sorghum for the kids, the jowar. Anyways, so we're walking around in the aisles because I just like to look and see what the crazy stuff is that they have there that I have no idea what it is or what you would use it for. Soy nuggets. Isn't that interesting? Literally, it's called soy chunks. Doesn't that make that sound appetizing? Literally, that's what it's called, soya chunks. And 2 ingredients, soybeans and water. And of course, allergen advice. It does contain soy. You figure? Anyways, I just thought that was super interesting. Look at that. Isn't that weird? So anyway, they're really, really super hard, just like a soy curl would be. But they look like little pellety things. I don't know. Sometime when I figure it out, I'll let you know. But I just thought that was kind of interesting. So we're going to try those in placement of, I don't know, something. Anyways, so you're supposed to be able to make 24 of these 1-inch bites. I obviously can't measure an inch, or my little scoopy thingy doesn't do an inch. So that's what I have. I got 16. So I did not get 24. I got 16. But they were not, I mean, yes, they were sticky. My hands were sticky and gooey when I was doing it, but it wasn't so bad that I couldn't get it back off my hands, which I've done some things that it's like, oh my gosh, get off type of thing. Like I've had to scrub my hands with a Brillo pad type of thing to get it off. This came right off with some hot water and soap. But anyway, these are good. They're very soft right now. And why did I take such a big bite? I don't know. Sorry. Anyway, 2 things. 1, yum. This is really, really good. And 2, I'm guessing these are not a good thing for people trying to lose weight. Yeah. There's a lot of calories and fat going on right here. This is very tasty. I'm gonna put these in the refrigerator. I'm going to also encourage my husband to eat some of them or end up putting them in the freezer so that I can only eat like 1 or 2 once in a while. Because yeah, I'm sure this is like 7 dates is essentially half of a date per thing, which is like maybe 40 calories, which isn't that big of a deal. But there's a lot of fat in here and the nuts that are in here. So anyway, you know me, I tend not to focus on that kind of stuff. I just eat whole food and that's great and wonderful. But I am intelligent enough to know this is probably not a health food. But it sure does taste good. So anyway, these are really good. You guys should actually make these and give these a try. He says, stash these bites in the fridge for an easy on-the-go breakfast or after workout snack. This would be a good thing to do after you work out. And speaking of working out, I'm going to go ride the exercise bike for half an hour. I did that yesterday. I'm doing it again today. I really hope at some point in time I get myself back in gear and do some workout videos on the TV. Missing Kelly a little bit from Fitness Blender, but I just don't feel like it. So I figure if I do anything, that's better than nothing. Again, something is better than nothing. I keep telling myself that. I really do need to work out though. So anyway, I'm gonna go put these in the refrigerator. They're gonna get firm. They're kind of squishy right now, but they're very good. Let's try this. Okay guys, so let me know what combinations you tried and if it was really good. Bet you apricots would be tasty in this. That's it for me for the day. Hope you all had a good one, and I will talk to you again tomorrow.